So unfortunately, we're trending in the wrong direction with the Braves in terms of injuries, and especially when you think about Ronald Acuna Jr., someone that's been hurt already, a 10-day injured list designation for Ronald Acuna Jr. because of that hamstring that gave him issues the first time around. Joe, are you concerned about Ronnie this time around?
Yeah, I am. I mean, I'm always going to be concerned about Ronald Acuna's health as long as he's an Atlanta Brave, and because that's just basically been the concern with him since the injuries have really started. What was it, around 2021, I guess? But that brings me to 2021, Maria. It's all kind of reminded me of this. Obviously, that year they lost Ronald Acuna for the season. We don't expect him to be out for the season, but there is another player who I'm sure we'll talk about in a second who could make a bigger impact in being a permanent loss. And I just think that it's going to be so important for Alex Anthopoulos to really take the proper assessment of where this team is right now and how does he then go out and perform in this hot stove season. We talk a lot about players and how they're going to perform over the course of the season. Well, the GM's also going to have to perform, and sometimes the performance of the GM is not just about going and adding a player, but it's about maybe not adding a player that you feel like you don't necessarily need. Let's hope that for Ronald it's not a super serious hamstring injury that's going to keep him out a long time, because that presents more issues, but it certainly is not something you prefer to be dealing with if you're Walt Weiss right now. And
here's the good thing, I think, about the Braves is that it does feel like it's next man up mentality with this team. Every time you turn around, it's someone else contributing in the lineup, so there is the good news, but obviously they want to see Ronald Acuna Jr. back sooner rather than later. Another guy who is hurt yet again, Spencer Strider, hitting the 15-day injured list with some elbow inflammation. The Braves do not know what's going to happen with him long-term yet, Sudu. We're going to get those answers this week. But this is concerning to me, and I'm sure it is for Spencer too, a guy that has dealt with a whole handful of injuries over the last few years. How does this affect the starting rotation?
Well, I'll be honest with you. I mean, since that internal brace surgery, we have not seen the same Spencer Strider. He's had bright moments in between, but it just hasn't been the dominant Spencer Strider. And if you look at what he was doing this season, I think putting J.R. Ritchie there doesn't really impact this team too much. You're expected to get guys back like Smith-Shawver and maybe Schwellenbach at some point this season. Obviously, you don't want somebody like him hurt and not in that lineup. We've seen too many injuries there. But this, we've been talking about, does AA kind of sell the farm to go get a big name like Schoolboy? And this happening kind of makes that conversation come back up, and it's not usually what he does, but if you do want to get that World Series run and you want to get in the playoffs and make a run, this might be something he's forced to do.
One of the driving concerns heading into this season was the starting rotation, so if you continue to pile up those injuries, the conversation's only going to continue to get louder.